Amazon Prime Day. Online shoppers getting 2 days of deals, while Amazon employees in Minnesota plan to go on strike. Susan Lee is covering the story live from Minneapolis. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning to you, Dagan. That's right. So Christmas in July with Amazon kicking off its 2-day Prime Day event, where they are expected to bring in around $4 to $7 billion over the next 48 hours. But given the success of Amazon, it's really become a political flashpoint. So they make billions of dollars off the U.S. consumer, and some say they don't pay their fair share when it comes to corporate taxes, and they don't treat their workers as good as they should. Now, we are here just outside Minneapolis, and we are expecting a first-of-its-kind worker strike on one of the most important days for Amazon. Now, this is not the first worker protest we've seen here at this fulfillment center. In fact, one took place in December last year, but we are expecting one for one of the most important days for Amazon here on this Prime Day. And speaking to us this morning, we're catching up with Meg Brady, who's one of the Amazon workers and part of, I would say, part of the organizing as well in this protest, where we're expecting 100 workers to go on strike. I'm just wondering, what are they protesting?
Well, working at Amazon is really difficult. It's a very hard place to work. And one of the things that would reduce some of the stress is if management would reduce the rates, the production rates that we're required to meet every hour.
That's right. So we're talking about productivity quotas, meaning the number of packages you need to pack up within an hour. And here it's at 600, whether they're big or small. And some say that seems a little unfair.
Right. In my particular job, it's 600 items an hour I handle. And we also would like to see some improvements made in ergonomics, because the repetitive nature of our work leads to workplace injuries.
That's right. In fact, you are on medical leave yourself.
That's correct.
Yeah. Were you injured here at this Amazon fulfillment center?
I was, yes.
Yes. And so a reduction, how big of a reduction are you looking for? What would be fair to you?
I would say even a 10% reduction in rate across the board would help workers quite a bit.
Yeah, so just a 10% reduction, so that's just around 540 packages an hour, down from the 600. That's what you're looking for.
Right, and then in my particular case, the rates do vary depending on what position you're in.
Yeah, and another issue that workers are protesting is the fact that they are hiring more temporary staff and not giving out full-time positions.
Right. The temporary workers, they are held to the same standards that full-time Amazon employees are held to, but yet they don't have Amazon benefits.
Right. But just to give the other side of this story, we did get in contact with Amazon. They say that 90% of the workers here at this fulfillment center are full-time staff.
Right. Well, the integrity workers are full-time, but they're still not employees,
yeah.
Amazon employees.
But what I'm hearing from you is it's, I guess, about the working conditions and also the full-time positions. It's not about money, because Amazon has moved up their minimum wage to $15 an hour. In fact, they told us here at this particular fulfillment center, the average wage is around $16 to $20 with benefits.
That's correct. I make $17.15 an hour.
Yeah. And what about unionization then? Are you getting pushback in terms of forming one by Amazon?
Right. Amazon is anti-union. I personally am a pro-union. That's not really what we're protesting today, but that could be something that we look at in the future.
Yeah, and it's not just the workers here at this fulfillment center. I believe a pilot is coming to join, and also some of the well-paid engineers in Seattle flying here as well.
Right. We have quite a show of support from other coworkers.
Yeah, but why Prime Day? I mean, why not select another day? Is this, I guess, to make your message heard more loudly?
Yes, and normally, if there's a disruption in work, they would transfer the work to another fulfillment center, but that's not possible today because all the fulfillment centers are busy.
And what would you like Jeff Bezos to hear from you? He is the richest man in the world, and he, of course, is the founder and owner of Amazon.
Well, management demands the best from its workers, and now we want management's best.
Okay, Meg, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And so we are expecting the 6-hour walkout just to take place in the afternoon, so at the end of the day session, and then heading into the night session as well. And as I mentioned to you, Dagan, first of its kind, because workers usually don't go on strike when it's this busy. Back to you.
Susan, thank you for that. Susan Lee in Minneapolis. Amazon Prime Day, 2 days. Mitch, have you been looking at this, like the impact on the business? Like, because I raised the issue with one of our earlier guests, with Charlie O'Shea, that is the Prime Day phenomenon losing its oomph? But maybe it's given oomph to these other retailers like Walmart and Target. Best to take advantage of it.
I think it's helping the entire retail ecosystem, whether or not it's digital or in store. And going back to something we were talking about earlier, is the consumer is very, very strong right now. And that's the component of our economy that is probably the strongest. No better time than when the consumer is strong to create retail buying opportunities. So, but I think Prime Day is a great sort of catalyst to sort of get people to think about shopping 6 months away from the busiest time of the year for shopping. So
yeah, it just reminds people, right? Reminds people, oh, if you haven't been on Amazon in the past 48 hours, here you go. Here's the deal.
Fitbit's on sale.
There you go, Mitch.
Lots of Amazon products, like the deals on the Echo, Dyson vacuum. There you go.
Well, I think Amazon wants people to be addicted to its ecosystem, much as a lot of people are with Apple. So when you talk about Amazon offering Echoes and anything that's run by Alexa, and of course, we've heard that they're developing kind of mini robot, right? They want you to use their services as much as the shopping.
And they're also creating products like the video doorbell and stuff that tie into all of their other products. And because what's next, especially when we get into a 5G world, is the Internet of Things, where all of these devices are connected to one another.
You know, it may not affect the woman that we just heard with Susan, but there was a report out last week. I mean, Amazon is spending $700 million to train their workforce, a third of their workforce, in response to automation, to give their workforce a better ability to adapt to how technology is changing things, because that fulfillment center that woman works in, I mean, that may not exist with any humans working in it in so many years. So there is some sort of response, maybe not direct, but there is a response on part of the company.
They are making an effort to, even because it costs them money to replace workers.
Yes.
Right.
Again, this falls on the private sector rather than politicians who have been talking and doing nothing, not walking the talk for literally decades in this country. And it comes down to, what are these private businesses doing to make sure that their own workforces are trained and retrained and modern and current. And
relevant for the skills that are needed to drive the business in the future. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper to train your existing talent than to go out and replace them with new ones.
Absolutely. Thank you all.